The original Elebits was a clever sleeper Wii title that featured unique Wii Remote-focused gameplay that combined first-person shooting with quirky gameplay that seemed almost a little inspired by Katamari Damacy. But as good as it was, Elebits on the Wii still felt like it wasn't much more than a fleshed-out tech demo. Instead of producing a sequel on the console, Konami instead decided to flesh out the Elebits universe in a very fun, younger-skewing adventure game for the Nintendo DS. You're unfortunately not going to be tossing cars over fences or lifting whole houses over your head on the DS game, but that's alright because this adventure is pretty cool on its own. Elebits, The Adventures of Kai and Zero picks up right where the original game left off. In the story, Kai and his Elebit buddy Zero are whisked away to another dimension by a mysterious bus invented by Kai's father. But to return home, Kai and Zero have to work their way through each world collecting Omega Elebits. Omega Elebits are different than normal Elebits in that they have special abilities that come in handy during the adventure. One can breathe fire, which can be used to burn bushes that block the way. Another can shoot ice, which can be used to create bridges across rivers. Another Omega Elebit can use magnetic forces, attracting giant metal spheres that get in the way. To collect these Omega Elebits, you still have to collect normal Elebits just like you did in the original game. Moving rocks or shaking trees will send these rodent-like creatures scattering, and by tapping on the touchscreen you'll collect them and the energy that they produce. The challenge isn't to collect them one at a time, it's to collect as many as you can in one shot. When a bunch of Elebits appear on screen, you have a short amount of time to target as many as you can by tapping them with the stylus. The more you catch in one single shot, the higher the reward, more power for your gun. The power you collect is used to activate switches and doors in the world to progress further in the world. You can also use your stored energy to evolve your Omega Elebits to earn even more abilities. Elebits, The Adventures of Kai and Zero is clearly aimed at the younger player. It's safe, non-violent action with puzzles that aren't very hard to complete. The story and dialogue's a bit cheesy, but the gameplay is pretty addictive, and it gives players a great sense of accomplishment because there are so many different levels to complete and tons of Elebits to collect. The game really isn't much of a technical marvel as much as the Wii game was. The developers scaled back the look of Elebits DS to keep it more in line with the appearance of a Super NES or Game Boy Advance game. Most of the action takes place on the lower screen, but at the end of each world are challenging boss battles spread across both displays. For the most part, the design works well, even if the game doesn't try to do anything as over-the-top as the Wii game did. Elebits DS isn't quite as ambitious as the original Elebits was, but the DS game is fulfilling on its own with clever puzzles, addictive collection elements, and a fun multiplayer competitive mode for local and online play. Check out my full written review of Elebits, The Adventures of Kai and Zero on IGN.com.